Hey guys, Henning and Morten from FlippedNormals here. In this video, we want to talk to you about a product we made like 6 months ago now, which is it's a product which is meant for concept art and just how to really make quick creatures. This is an idea we had for a long time, not for years, but then when we worked on concepting for the latest Pacific Rim movie, this was really something which would speed up our work a lot. When you're doing concepting, you have no intention of sculpting eyes, ears, horns, that kind of stuff. You already know how to do it. You don't have time for it. You don't have to prove it to anyone. It's just about the idea. So we've collected here a bunch of presets for stuff like eyes, ears, and and a bunch of other parts where you can make stuff like this very quickly. Like here you can see like the mouth is straight up and just transformed a bit. We have the fur. We have a base mesh, ears, horns, little pimples, all this kind of stuff. This guy here, he was sculpted in around 2 hours, I think. And there is no way I could have sculpted this in 2 hours with this level of detail without this kit here.
Like I think, oh man, it's like we're selling a product, but it's like, I used it for a film recently. Can't talk about that yet, but I did. And it's when you have to concept, I was using horns for it. I had to get out a bunch of different horns in one day. And there's like, first of all, it's like the whole design challenge of making, let's say you're making horns, but like how to speed up your process. All of a sudden I could get out 10 horns in 10 minutes because they were like, I used 10 horns, right? So it's really how to speed up your workflow and really help you also, I think, explore things you hadn't thought about before. Because maybe some of these shapes are shapes you wouldn't have thought of, or you hadn't found the reference for this kind of shape. So also for exploration, I think this pack is really powerful.
That's one of the most useful things for me is, sure, I can sculpt all the things here, but it's just that I wouldn't have thought about using those shapes. And it contains like 171 brushes, where we have like anatomy brushes, beaks, like if you want to do birds, if you're into that, eyes and all that. So we're just going to show you real quick how this works. So it ships with all these base meshes as well. Yeah,
we have 15 base meshes.
Yeah, it's around that. And so we have just a bunch of useful stuff, like if you want to do a T-Rex, you want to do like more dragon-like, a little weird dude, something more quadrupedal, and we have a bunch of bipeds as well. So if you want to do something more feminine or something more monstery, we have all that. And we found a fun use case for the expose button.
Yay!
So I'm gonna show you real quick how to do two different things here. We're just playing around. First is gonna be the gorilla. So if we go to clone, we now have a gorilla here. This also ships with the interface here. This interface is made. It's a custom interface made for this kit here. So
it's just easier than having to hit your ZBrush, find the correct brush for it. So
exactly. So all the brushes are found down here. We have also included some stuff like mirror and weld, sear meshing, dynameshing, resolutions, delete higher and lower, and go up and down subdivision levels. Really useful stuff. So when doing this, let's just add some subdivision levels to them. Control D to do that, and then we can try just to play around with some stuff here. So we can do.
I really like the anatomy brushes because they're a good foundation. Let's say you're doing a face or something on the body. They're just really quick to get some form in there. So that's super cool.
So we can just very quickly just get some pecs down here, just to get some definition right away. Yeah. We can add some ribs to them as well. This is obviously pretty hacky, and we would definitely sculpt over this afterwards as well. We can add some cheekbones to him here. See if we get this right. We got some cheekbones. Add a chin. For this, I'm just turning off symmetry. We can add a clavicle to him. We got a scapula. And you can see here, the scapula isn't the full scapula. Like, we haven't sculpted the entire thing here, and that's very deliberate, because something like the scapula, you wouldn't see the entire thing. You wouldn't see the bone. You just would see the bony landmarks going around.
You wouldn't necessarily see individual muscle striation for that.
No, exactly.
Whereas something with the pecs, maybe that's usually something that protrudes a lot more.
For sure. We can have kneecaps for it here.
One thing I found really interesting to play around with as well is, like, obviously you can use it like this, how it's intended to be used. But sometimes if you have some of the more crazy shapes and you just really drag it all the way through your model, you can end up with something super weird on the other side. You can. So it's like unintentional design kind of thing.
Yeah. You can also just use them like more instead for crazy intentional design, or you can just use like it's an elbow brush. It can also be a spine brush.
Yeah, exactly.
You can use it for these kind of things here. So we also have, this one is kind of cool. It's a 6-pack brush.
A 6-pack brush.
Ta-da!
We should sell that as like a course, like how to get 6-pack abs in ZBrush.
And we're just doing this. So the cool thing is now you already have a foundation for like the chest here. Obviously you would have to sculpt over this. This is never meant to be the final result. This here is a starting point, way more than anything else. So we already have a foundation here now. Now we can try with something like, we can try with an ear. We can give him like goblin ear. Oh, let's enable symmetry again. That would help. And then we can give him, we can try out different things as well. Like now we have given him a goblin ear. Maybe a bat ear works better. So you can just do that.
Yeah, and like very quickly, the design changes. The feel of the design changes very, very quickly when you use these stuff, because it's like all of a sudden the shape is completely different. The silhouette looks different. Using ears on the.
And you can try different things as well. You can try to make like just like give this like mutated look here, or just try a bunch of different things.
Yeah, I think that's what the one of the really fun parts. Like, let's say you were concepting this normally, you would never think like, okay, what happens if I put an ear on the underside of his chin, right? But like with this, it's just a click and an undo, and then you've tried it.
For sure.
So.
And also the fact that it ships with the base meshes as well. This is something we didn't actually think about originally when we made it. It was just like, oh, let's just make some cool ZBrush brushes here. But what we realized is that you kind of spend most of your time, at least in the beginning, just getting a base mesh right.
Yeah.
Trying out some things here. So base meshes is one of the things I use actually the most here. So we can try this as well with like different kind of eyes here. Some more humanoid. We can try some crocodile ones. Try elephant one. And you can just see it has a completely different look right away. Yeah. We also have one here. It's like a fish eye, but maybe we can actually use that for some kind of design here.
Yeah, maybe it's like for octopus arms or something.
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of variety within all these brushes, and you can use them and morph them into very different things. Not necessarily what they're intended to.
Yeah. But that's actually something we would love to see you guys do as well. Like, how far can you push this?
Yeah.
So you can do some of this and just make sure that symmetry is disabled.
Yeah, symmetry has to be disabled in the center, because
otherwise you get this kind of stuff.
You get a weird result. I mean, you could.
This is also cool. I want to do that. I want to try. It's kind of cool.
There you go.
It's like weird, but it's kind of cool.
It's like a weird flower.
Yeah. So you can try out all these kind of things here. We have a bunch of different ones, like a bat nose. Maybe you want a double nose here.
Boop.
Boop. We can also try out mouths. So we have human lips, which I don't think this guy would fit very well with.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy. You can smooth it out a bit. We can undo some of this here, and we can do angry mouth. Ah!
But see, I mean, instantly, like, if you had to sculpt that, there's at least 5 to 10 minutes to like get the shape right and get everything in there.
And I wouldn't have thought about making this design at all.
No.
I also love this, like just going crazy.
The horn brushes are my favorite. I
actually like this design. This is actually kind of cool. This like screaming mouth with 2 human eyes. We can also do like stuff like here for like the brokenness of this. We can break this kind of stuff up here.
Yeah.
We can do some crazy stuff here.
And you can use these, right now they're just being used with the drag rectangle brush, but you can also have them with the spray brush. You can just like populate it really quickly. Might not be what you're after, but it's possible.
You could. So, particularly the horn brushes, I really enjoy using the horn brushes, because you can just get some crazy stuff right away. Like maybe the back here works better, and since this works better for flat surfaces, but since we already have a curved surface, you get some really interesting results here.
I used the horns for wings at some point.
Yeah, I remember that.
Really weird, but it worked kind of cool.
Yeah, we also have tails. So this gets weird now. So you want to give him like a shark butt.
That's really
I don't like this so much, but maybe like the dragon one is pretty cool. So maybe this is gonna work pretty well.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe not, no. Yeah.
But the point is, there's a bunch of different things. A little pigtail.
A little one. It's like a weird Chinese folklore thing. Not anymore. Oh, wow.
So the point is, you can just experiment with stuff. Like Morten was saying before, the unexpectedness of this is really what's been useful for me.
Yeah, maybe you see this and you realize, oh, I don't actually want him to have lower legs anymore. Now I just want him to have a tail.
Give him like little wings, crazy stuff, just for silhouette.
Yeah.
Give him a little insect butt. One I really enjoy using as well is the teeth. So there are two kind of teeth here. We have insert brushes, and then we have vector brushes. So we have these are teeth which they were generally made as teeth. I find that I'm using them more for like details.
Yeah, it's very good for scales and stuff like that.
So for this kind of stuff, like making like if you were to make like a Godzilla style character, boom,
done.
Already there. With this, should have probably removed his tail.
Nah,
it's fine. So super useful for this kind of stuff. And then we have teeth as well, which can be used for crazy stuff. I really enjoyed using like these kind of brushes to create sharpness here, but you can also set the intensity all the way down. So like this, just to get some like spikes going for like these areas. This one, which is really cool. I really enjoyed this one, the jagged one.
Yeah. We should mention that these are all 3D alphas. Yes. These aren't regular alphas.
No.
This is, an update that came.
These are vector brushes.
Vector brushes, all of them with ZBrush.
These are properly sculpted shapes.
So the cool thing about that is that usually when you had a vector brush, you would just get an up and down kind of thing. But like something like the mouth we have there, like we would never be able to do the mouth or have an underhang of that kind of spike. Normal alphas just don't allow for that. So that's really the power of these brushes. The same thing with the horns. Like you wouldn't be able to get curvature in the horn in that way. You would get up and down horn.
Yeah.
That's an up and down horn.
So what's cool as well is that now we can also just go in with like regular brushes, like the clay brushes, and we can just start refining this. Obviously this here is not the final result. We're not happy with this. But we can just start going in here and just start adding like the delts and start refining this, blending all this stuff here together. Just adding a lot of cool stuff. I think this is really handy. Like this has sped up my work considerably when doing concept art, particularly for movies with big monsters.
And it's just a lot of fun, I think.
So much fun playing with this.
My favorite part about this is the exploration I can do and coming up with concepts I wouldn't necessarily have thought of coming up with myself.
Yeah.
Because now I have ready-made shapes that can help me.
Absolutely. So I want to show another thing as well. So this was this weird gorilla whale.
Gorilla whale Godzilla.
Kaiju thing. So I want to show something which is more for a bust as well. So we can just go select the bust, hit clone, and now we have a bust. And these are also made in real world scale. So if you were to bring this into Maya now, they would be in the correct position on the grid and pretty much ready to be retopologized.
Because you never get that right when you do it in ZBrush. For some reason, it's always like upside down to the side or something.
Yeah, and it's 2,000 meters big, or it's a millimeter.
Exactly.
So the approach for this is, first you could just start sculpting here right away, just to get like a base shape. But what I prefer to do is subdivide it a few times. Get up to like maybe like 1 million or so, 2 million. And now we can start with same approach as before, but we can start with like an ear. Let's give him a thug's ear. Because at this point I genuinely know what we're gonna do here. Like this could be any character at this point. Maybe we end up with some weird cat thing, or we end up with like a proper Cockney style thug from Peaky Blinders or something. Or like an orc. The thing is, I actually don't know at this point. So let's start with the anatomy for this. I really like the anatomy for the face.
Yeah. It's really nice.
Cheekbones. Boop. We have the eyes in the middle. So just add this as well. Now you can see the symmetry is on, so we need to disable symmetry. So just do this. So these have been made to kind of fit together. And then we have, we have a chin as well. Don't have to add this, but it just adds a bit more definition to it. You can also see here now that now symmetry is starting to break a little. So we can now do delete lower. And then we can do mirror and weld. So now it's going to start. Now it's going to be perfectly symmetrized. Yeah. We lost our subdivision levels now, but that's fine. We really don't need subdivision levels for this. So we can now go into something like an eye here, and we can just chuck in an eye. We can just try out some things like a Komodo dragon eye.
And if you get weird results with how when you drag stuff out, you can always try to smooth out the surface a little bit, because it's very surface dependent. Like if it's a flat surface, it'll look one way. If it's a curved surface, it'll have another kind of look to it.
Yeah, it generally works a lot better when it comes to flat surfaces.
Yeah. But see how quickly the look of this alien-looking
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders guy changes. he would stand out though if he was in Peaky Blinders.
Yeah,
I think,
a little
at this
bit.
point.
You'd be like, who is this guy?
But the cool thing is that there's actually quite a lot of detail in these.
Yes.
So it's not just using it at a lower level. You can see, there's like the lid shape is in there. With
it's a lot of refinement already made. So we also have a breakup one. This might be something we would use a bit later on. Just go like, boom.
I love the breakup ones.
Somebody smashed him.
Yeah.
We have lumps on him. Let's actually add some lumps to him, because this guy here, he's been out a winter night and he's not. He's touched some things he was not supposed to with his lip.
Not again.
So we have some of this. We have some individual pimples. We can add this. We can add. This is kind of cool. It's like a barnacle. Maybe he's like He reminds me maybe of something like from Pirates of the Caribbean, like one of the pirates there.
Yeah.
We can add a nose to him. Let's find a nose one.
I mean, it's limitless.
Yeah. Oh my god. So we can make him into more like a vampire style character.
Yeah.
Nice. So for this, I want to flatten this out a little bit, just symmetry, and just flatten it out a little bit here. Make a bit more foundation, and then we can go back to the noses, and we can now do. There's one I really like, the skull one. Yeah. Super gangster.
I don't know, is it though? Like, is it gangster to have?
I guess everyone kind of has a skull.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess you're right.
No, I mean, he totally could be gangster.
Yeah.
He's a thug. That's skull thug.
So now let's do a mouth as well. And at this point, we haven't done any actual individual sculpting.
Which is crazy.
This is insane, right? This is... I'm so fascinated by this that there isn't actually any sculpting done here. So let's do the mouth one, which we have here somewhere. We have the mouth, and we can do Old Sad. I really enjoy this. It's called Old Sad because it's an old and sad mouth.
Oh, I'd never guessed.
Pretty original with names here, guys. So, and of course, we're in ZBrush. Got to add a horn.
Oh yes.
Because I mean, can you even ZBrush without horns? So we can try a couple of different types here as well. Now you can see it went a bit weird because the symmetry is off. So now we can just do the same thing as again, mirror and weld, get rid of this guy. Or you can do, so see it mirrors from left to right. So mirror from this side to this side. So if you do this, you're going to get double. But we've been smart here, I think, with a mirror. So mirror just flips it. So now we can do this. And there we go. So there is actually some reason behind this interface.
Yeah, I think the UI just helps. I mean, you don't have to use it,
No.
but it just helps speed up the workflow.
For sure. So you can do this like weird. I don't even know.
That's kind of like John Carter.
Yeah.
Kind of the green aliens.
Yeah, exactly. We can also do this. This is one of my favorite
Yeah,
ones.
I love this. The fantasy horn. That's the best one.
Because it's so versatile.
Yeah.
So we can make it super big. Yeah. A bit smaller. We also have a horn base as well. It's kind of cool.
If you want horns to sort of grow out of the base, for example, just to ground it a little more.
So let's see if we can do something with this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's kind of nice. So, and then we can do, of course you need something here as well. There's some small ones.
Just some small horns.
Just some small ones. So, yeah, something like this. And again, no sculpting has been done at this point here.
Yeah.
This is pure kit bashing. So now I actually want to do some sculpting because it's time. So let's just add some shape to this.
And really quickly, once you start to combine the sculpting with the brushes, I think you can end up with a really cool concept.
Absolutely. Maybe not this.
Yeah, maybe.
maybe you should think a bit more about the design instead of just chucking it in. Like this, when I'm using this, I'm not just actually doing this. I'm still thinking about, do these shapes here fit together and all that kind of stuff. But it's still a very useful starting point.
Yeah.
So we can just add a bit of this as well.
That kind of reminds me, because of the loose kind of sculpting on the face, it kind of reminds me of like a grandma kind of thing. So it's like because like it's kind of, if you zoom out again, like the lumps on her chest and stuff kind of looks like flowers. So she's wearing like a flowery dress.
Yeah.
So not very gangster.
It's not very gangster at all. What we'd also done here as well, which I think is pretty useful, is we included eyeballs. So we have here like cat eyeballs. And we have some more creature stuff. This is cute. This is creature, and this is human.
Yeah.
So for this, we want to make it more human.
Like, it's just some sculptural ones that already have like a concave part just so it casts some shadows.
Yeah.
It's just nice to get a feel for how would it look.
Exactly. So we can just copy and just paste it in here. So now we have an eye here. We can move this guy up here. So you can see it's already in. It already has the correct size for this, give or take. Position is a bit off because it has to, has to work with all of them.
Yeah.
So we can just move this up here, move this here, and now we can just subdividing it once or twice just to get some more resolution. And then we can just move this over here just so it fits with the eyeball. Now already we have an eyeball here, and now we can.
Yeah, it really changes the look of the design really quickly.
Yeah. So you can see here now we just got to use the mirror feature, and there we go. So let's just do a bit of sculpting on this guy here. Don't want to go too crazy with this. We just want to make something which is slightly more refined.
But yeah, you can see how quickly. I mean, what was this? 5 minutes for that part there, and it's really fun. I think that's the main thing about it. It's like it gives you an option to explore concepts that you probably wouldn't have made otherwise.
Yeah, like saying if this here is a good concept or not, that's very much up for debate. But it's refined.
Yeah.
Like it means that, yeah, maybe this here isn't the greatest thing on earth, but it means that you can present this to people. If you want 10 designs very quickly, you can just get this out very fast.
Yeah.
So, and then you can keep refining them. It's kind of like you could eliminate them now. And this also means though, if they do pick this design here, you can start retopoing them or just keep working on them, and you already have a starting point for them right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it gives you a competitive advantage because you can really just play around with shapes so quickly.
Yeah.
Like if you were just moving things around with the move brush here and you didn't have much of the other stuff, you had to hand sculpt everything. It would be a lot harder to do.
And you can also change the design. Like I'm I don't really like this death
nose.
The death nose is a bit too weird for me.
Yeah.
So I just want to refine the area around here a little bit, make it a bit flatter, and now we can do another nose because we have a bunch of noses. Human nose is probably gonna look weird. And then we can try bear nose. Looks a bit alien. We can try the vampire nose. I really like the vampire nose. So we can try something like that. It just makes it feel a bit. Oh, I hit the wrong key. This is the Shift X key. You don't want to hit the Shift X key. This is the expose button. This happens a few times. So enable symmetry again, and we can just start refining this, working the nose up a bit. Because I would never leave the nose like this. I would always work the shapes into each other. Like we said, it's a starting point.
It's a good base, and helps you get it done faster, I think.
Yeah. So let's just look quickly at these two guys here now, and keep in mind these are made without any thought for actual good design here. So
yeah, but really quick process, and it's quick to iterate on.
Yeah.
And allows you to explore a lot of different things really quickly.
Yeah, I think the guy on the left is actually kind of cool. He's a fun little dude.
Little grandma with the flowers.
Little grandma. So you can find this on FlippedNormals.com. We're definitely going to be including a link to this as well in the description. And like I said, once you refine this, you can make something like this. This guy here, he was made with the Gorilla base mesh. Pretty much exactly the same process you saw before. Gorilla base mesh, bunch of these little things here where you can just drag and drop them out. And actually one thing I want to show you guys before we head off here as well is I want to show you the teeth brushes. So we already shown you the ones you can drag on. You can just drag out, but one which is really cool is these ones, which are actual 3D objects. So if you want to make, let's say you want to give him, this guy here, this little grandma thing, you want to give him like teeth sticking out of this, you can do something like this. You can rotate them up, and we can do this, and then we can just start to refine this, and give her a nice little fangs or tusks or something like that.
Then we have an orc.
Stereotypical orc right away. So I really like this brush here as well. Really handy, just for not just if you want to do an instant orc, but for adding teeth.
Yeah. And
this can be used for claws, it can be used for horns, all that kind of stuff. So with that said, we covered most of the features here. Like I said, super useful tool. for creating really high-level concepts very quickly.
And we do have a free version on our website as well that you're free to check out to see what maybe works for you. And if it does, feel free to check out the paid version.
Yeah.
Really support it.
Yeah.